how best can we see that the publicity of the mineral sector actually gets to attract more citizens to get interested in the business, but also to guarantee the investors that coming to Uganda and be part of the mineral sector is a safe guaranteed avenue and also a business that we look forward to supporting you as government. One of my friends was making a joke and saying that, Fiona, since you're Minister of State for Mineral Development, you are the leader of underground business. I said, no, we actually don't do underground business in the mineral sector. And for emphasis, I want to put that off, that the mineral business is actually not underground business. Yes, the minerals are underground, but the business is as normal as any other business in Uganda. And that speaks to the fact that there is still a lot of ignorance, there is still a lot of lack of knowledge, there is still a lot of discrete accuracy that is attached to the mineral sector. And I've always wondered, why is it that we cannot have normal debates about the mineral sector as we would have of any sector in the country? I would love to wake up in a Uganda where they are debating the fluctuation of gold prices as they debate the fluctuation of fuel prices. I would love to wake up to a Uganda where agricultural prices are on the lips of everybody. So should the minerals in the country. And then when we entirely have the attention of our citizens, I would be certain that we understand the value of what we have and we can move forth together as a country to seeing that mineral development is actually going to foster growth as we envisioned in this budget's financial speech. The government of Uganda has continued to sustain an enabling environment for investments. And among these, we are now proud of some mineral beneficiation centers that we have in place. We also are in the pipeline of seeing that we put buying centers in most of the lucrative areas across the country. And this should enable us derive the most optimal benefits from mining and exploitation of the minerals. As our main focus is on seeing that responsible, sustainable mining is the ultimate goal, government continues to ensure that national content strategy is adhered to. And developers are required to recruit, train, and promote Ugandan citizens and give priority to the goods and services sourced in Uganda and the East African region. We speak of Wagagai, that is approximately looking at exploiting 1 million ounces of gold. Renzori Rare Metals is doing a great job. We have the Sukulu Phosphates industry by Dongsong, the Consolidated Africa Graphite Project that was well represented here at the panel. Woodcross, our very first tin smelting company. Tembo Steel Integrated Plant. Abyssinia Steel, 6 cement factories, currently 8 gold refineries and still counting, and many other investments in exploration that are ongoing. Yesterday, one of the panelists, I think her name was Dr. Lithu. Was it Lithu or Tithu? If I may quote directly, triggered our minds when she said that we cannot manage what we don't have. I would love to rephrase her statement and say, we actually can't manage what we don't have when we don't know the value of what we don't have. One of the greatest problems Africa has always had, and that is entirely my opinion, has been the lack of appreciation of competition. Because competition escalates value. And over time, we have been in a place of where we can barely ascertain the quantification of the value that we have as a continent. The scramble and petition for Africa 140 years ago. One of the MCs here yesterday mentioned that Winston Churchill, when he named Uganda the Pearl of Africa, his ending statement was focus on Uganda. 140 years ago, today, we are still focusing on other sectors without putting ultimate focus on where the wealth lies. I'm certain when he was speaking, no African was part of his audience. Today we gather here, not just as a Ugandan audience, but as an African audience. And my question is, where is our focus? As the Ugandan government, we are taking this seriously and over time have come on streamlining our focus on mineral development in the country. Now, I would like to appreciate the efforts of the private sector that they have played towards the development of the mineral sector in Uganda. We are very certain that Uganda is an investment destination of choice for many of you, and the private sector in its own avenue has done us a good job and justice in seeing that developments are continuous and also leveraging on all the international capital. We need to also have full support. I can't emphasize enough, as many speakers have mentioned before, the need for prioritization of investment in exploration. I do not know whether it is high time we find an alternative word for exploration that is less confusing, but from my personal experience, I have been quoted out of context quite a number of times by the media on incidences where I have said exploration and the quotation says exploitation. I don't understand where the confusion comes from. So, Chairman, Board of Trustees, perhaps you could lead us in that avenue of clearly seeing that we can have an alternative word that is more friendly and less confusing to the people. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank you enough for supporting the mining industry and all the investors that are gathered here today for choosing Uganda as your destination of investment. We continue to pledge our commitment to work together in the continent and address the issues facing the natural resources of Africa, as we look forward to seeing that we find African-tailored solutions or African-considerate solutions that can actually foster mineral development in a way that will benefit the rise of our continent. I wish you all very productive engagements as we strive to focus on unlocking the quantification and qualification of Africa and Uganda's mineral resources at large. In Uganda, we work the whole day and we party the whole night. And that should just be an indication of how rich and beautiful we are as a country. It is my plea as minister that everybody that is in this room today does not just go out as an ambassador of Uganda, but as an ambassador of Africa's mineral resource. Because your presence as an African, your presence as a Ugandan, is a mineral in itself that we need to capitalize on in terms of human resource, for seeing that our resources are well utilized and capitalized on for development. I thank you all, and I say all this for God and my country.